We're hiking out to this mine from 1800s, and aside from the trees being absolutely enormous, as you can see, there's something kind of cool in this one. You can see where there was a sign here.
Scale.
Thank you. See the scale right there. You see the outline of the sign right there? That's pretty cool. I can only imagine what it said. This area burned through a couple years ago, so any remnants of the sign would have probably disappeared then. Oh yeah, and I don't know if you can tell where he's outlining this finger, but there was obviously another one there. Pretty cool. Still following this road down. You see the miners did a lot of work to carve out the rock here. See where my buddy is. The rock would have come over to about where he is, so it gives you an idea of how much they took out. And here, aside from the pretty creek, you've got this impressive rock wall. I'm glad you're there for scale. They would have had a bridge running across there, essentially. So we'll have to cross the creek, but impressive. This was a big mine though, so I'm not surprised to see all the remains of this infrastructure. We hiked down through that mess, and there is an adit. Could be a main haulage adit, I'm not sure yet. There were several adits here, but there's definitely an adit there. And you can see the rock walls leading out of it here at creek level, standing in concrete foundation. And let's see, what else? Not a huge structure, but definitely a significant structure. And there's more concrete foundation over there. Can you guys see that? See that blocky looking thing over there? It's gonna suck going through all these blackberries, but we have to do it. But first, let's go take a look at that drain tunnel over there. Or I'm assuming it's drain tunnel just because it's at creek level, but haulage at it, who knows? We'll find out. Here's a better look at it. You can see the proximity to the creek. So obviously all the water from the creek flows in. There is a drain pipe of sorts right there. Not too much. It must be pretty plugged. There's only a little trickle coming out, but somebody put it there. See that rock wall and passageway leading out here. So I'm gonna let my buddy, he was already getting his waders out while I was filming, take a look at this and you can see what we're working with. All right, first look. It's wet, but it runs and seems pretty solid. I'll wait to see how deep it is. But,
I swear it looks like it gets deeper.
well, we'll find out.
It's been a long time since I had this tight pressure from water this deep. Alright, I'm gonna turn the phone off because this is get a little hairy.
Remember, the deepest part's supposed to be in the beginning. And rules are, there are never exceptions to rules.
Never.
There's definitely cave people in there.
Wow, such a hug. The ground's so squishy, I like don't stop sinking.
Just think of it as a comforting embrace.
This mud is unbelievably deep.
Yeah.
Like,
So the adit is right there. It went up to my buddy's neck, and since it's winter, we called it. We'll come back either in the summer or the raft. Just wanted to hike upstream and see if there's anything here, but you can see what this turns into. Just vertical, very vertical. The higher up you go, so I think that's it for today. In this section, we'll follow the road around, see if we can find another way in, but at least for this one, unless we intersect it somewhere else, we're coming back in the summer. That's the mess we hiked down through, all those blackberries. That main haulage adit or drain tunnel is back there. These are those concrete structures. There's that one. We're standing on one. More over here. The drain tunnel or adit is back over there. I don't know if you can hear the rushing water or not, but that's where that is. There's foundation here. You can see some of it fell into this. Well, there's a landslide here, obviously, that washed down to the creek where my buddy is. He's looking at some of the metally bits down there. And oh, something right there too. So yeah, there's that. Kind of looks like the foundation for a compressor, but it's hard to say. There are the remains of a power pole there, and also here, another foundation for something there. Lots of wood scraps. There's a fire. I don't know if I mentioned it already. There's a fire that came through here not too long ago, so I'm afraid we lost a lot of the remaining wood, but this gives you a sense of. Yeah, I saw that. This is all waste rock I'm standing on. It extends out that way, but we already stuck our heads down there and didn't see any obvious adit over in this way. So.
Here's some fish plates.
Fish plates?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, did you identify that big metal thing there?
That thing?
Yeah.
Carbide can with a makeshift handle turned into a bucket.
Huh. No, I meant the one down the creek.
Oh. I forgot to look at it.
Oh, fair enough. It's very steep here. Alright, I'm gonna go check. This live oak in front of me here, you can see the stump right there. Somebody cut it a long time ago, and then they don't just die if you cut them like a pine tree. They sprout around the sides like this and make a bush. Any idea?
It's a stick.
No, the thing down the creek.
It's a stick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. The stick. Oh, I just noticed the cable. I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a cable running down there. So, all right, we'll see what else is here. There's got to be some other stuff to see. Doing dog duty. We fought our way down through the post-fire brush you see there because there's an X marked on the topo map here. We haven't found anything underground. There are a bunch of quartz outcroppings on the way, and then there's a ledge here with some built-up rock walls around. Buddy just found a mason jar, and then this, whatever that is. Maybe a water...
Well, it's just a can on a piece of 9-wire.
I'm just saying, like, I wonder if they use that for water or something. Hard to say. Oh, a little piece of cable right there. And then off the side here, you can't even make them out in 2 dimensions, but there's a bunch of the remains of boards that were burned down there. So there was a structure here, but that's all we got. Oh, and there was a ditch running out in this direction as well. But whatever is here, that's my buddy's packs, or those are my buddy's packs. Whatever is here seems to be gone. And I can't remember how I mentioned it. I thought this might have been a tram station, but I can't imagine what else it might have been because we don't see any sign of working. As you see how it just drops off. But and this brush, who knows? Looking around here some more, we just found what we think is a punch. It's hard to say for sure, but it's a punch. And then where my buddy's thumb is,
The mushroomed impact end.
yeah, somebody's always been whacking on it.
Get a point.
And then where your thumb was, there was something etched into it, but we can't make it out.
Maybe Anwell.
Hard to say. Pretty cool though. Those foundations and such are down there. We've been hiking up the spine of this ridge here. It's really steep. And this is a good example of how hard we work out in the mountains to get to these mines. You can't just drive up to them, park your Jeep in front like in the desert. And I turned the camera on because we've just intercepted a road here. See the rock wall? And there's an old riveted pipe coming out there. So with what looks like a drain tunnel down there, we're thinking the shaft is up here. That's why it came up this way. So hopefully this leads to something good. We got some, that's my buddy right there. We've got some cuts here and areas where the ground was worked out. The road, a really nice road, is just through there. Obviously something was done up here. Hard to tell if that shaft is here or not. So we're scouting these out right now, but we're gonna have to follow that road for a little ways too. That was a serious road. We've been hiking through the woods from that direction on our way to another mine, and looked up the hill and saw a tank up here. Where was that tank? See the tank there? So I climbed up to see the tank, and look what else we found up here. We found some pretty serious infrastructure. All this, I'm glad my buddy's there for scale.
Goes
And there's,
way over there.
yeah,
Over there. Way over there.
wow. You don't have anything marked on your map for this, do you? We hadn't realized it yet, but I had discovered the mansion connected to the mine. These are some different images of it to give you an idea of what we're working with here. We were looking down there before. This is the other side. Again, lots of stuff here. Looks like remains of a pathway leading up there. All kinds of stuff back here. I was videoing over there before and I've come even more to the left because I saw these tiers, and look how far down the hill these go. They keep dropping down. And I imagine there's more up the hill too. It's just crazy. Big, big site. I was looking up there before and started the process of coming down and got a much better look at all the tiers here. Here's another one in front of me. And then I looked over to my left and I noticed stairs. I don't know if that's coming across in 2 dimensions, but maybe look at it from this angle. Oh, the dog's gonna volunteer to go down the stairs. Perfect. Don't see stairs very often. Good concrete stairs. That's impressive. You've got this big landing right here. What a sight. We were up on top of the hill there, came across the road, thinking we were going to go on to our original target, and looked down and saw all of this connected to the other stuff we found. And there's just an unbelievable amount of quartz down here. Those are, I guess, for example, a house-sized slab of quartz. And you can see the ground is all chewed up and worked down here. Unfortunately, stuff just doesn't come across as well in 2 dimensions. But there's a road over there. Huge unnatural looking cut right there. So now we're thinking this may in fact be, given how large it is, we're thinking this may in fact be part of the mine that was our original destination today. Come down and check out that concrete structure, which I'll show you in a second. My buddy just found a hexagon-shaped pipe up there. This is even more developed than we realized. Looking at it from this perspective, you can see the rock walls built up more. They just found a saucepan. Is that what you would call that?
Yeah, a pan.
A pan.
It's in pretty good shape.
Anyway, here's this concrete structure. Got some pretty massive bolts on here. See the rock wall up there. There is a huge spool of cable over here. And this was not for hitching up the miners' horses, I'll tell you that. You see more This is tough. I'm trying to interpret these sites with just a few little clues, but you can see these cuts or grooves along here. Don't know if that was for water or what. More bolts along here. More foundation squared off. Hey, I don't even know if stuff is coming across in the camera. I got the riveted pipe here. There's a lot going on here. We were just starting to figure out that we'd located the infrastructure supporting the main shaft, which was located below the mansion up on the hill that we just saw previously. In fact, you can still see the mansion in the background of some of these pictures of the historical infrastructure. My friend is fortunately standing right there for perspective. The concrete structure that I speculated might have been for a hoist is about right there. And all of that lines up to convince us that this is actually the shaft. They think that this was the main 2,000 foot shaft dropping down here. If you look right there, that's a railroad, full train sized piece of rail right there. But that's not why we think this is the shaft. We think it's a shaft just because it's got that antlion look that you see so often with cave shafts. It's got a bunch of quartz. The dog's down there checking things out. She's not falling through. So I don't think we're getting in there, but everything fits.
I think we can call that the mansion for sure.
I think we can call that the mansion. So that area up above, thought might have been a mill. I think that was actually the mansion. The steps and everything fit with that. And I think this was the hoist house all through there. I think we finally got this one figured out. Took a couple trips and a lot of research, but I think we got it. Jake is sliding down there to investigate after Viola pioneered the way. Viola's the dog. And he deserves a turn for this one because those are all blackberry bushes. They're covered in thorns. So it'll be amusing to watch him coming out of this one because it's not going to be easy. You getting cut up?
Yeah, well, they're poking me. I'm not pierced yet. Ow! Okay, that was now.
Fun, fun. Well, now you have to get in the shaft for us. Some pretty big chunks of quartz down there.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at where he is, that's that piece of rail right there. He's not a dwarf. That's a big piece of rail. So, Foxtrot 8-1 or I, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Charlie Oscar, Lima Charlie, 850.
Huh.
Not enough.
Curious. That doesn't mean anything to me, but hopefully somebody knows their rail out in the audience and can tell us what the deal is.
Now, where's all the train nerds?
Yeah, exactly. There should be somebody that knows their stuff. So we think we got the angle figured out. The hoist is right there, so we think this is in line. My buddy can elaborate on why. We were just talking about it.
Okay, so looking at our cone here, it's sloped in on all the sides except for here. You got bare rock and dirt, 90 right to here, and our two railroad tracks, rails, are both right here, making me think the plug is between them. The shaft goes this way.
Right.
Which also makes sense because there's a drain at it about 1,300 feet away, directly that way.
As the crow
down
flies.
hill, and it's supposed to connect to the shaft via a raise. If they're both in line, it makes more sense than if the shaft goes that way. It'd be a very long, awkward raise to do that from a 90-degree angle. So I think square right here, 45-degree shaft under all this.
That absolutely makes sense. Hard to tell, but that shaft is right there. But I just climbed out. And you can see more rock foundations across the way. More stuff, roads, cuts, etc. across the way. Something I'm particularly curious about right now is that big hole. Oh, another piece of cable.
Pretty old. It's like the worst shape I've seen for a cable, I think.
Well, if you think about what that must have endured, hauling out the skip all the time. And
over 100 years old.
Yeah.
Or at least it's been sitting here for 100 years.
Now I'm pretty curious about that. So obviously we're going to check that out. I've seen a historical picture looking across the way from an adit up there somewhere, so try and track that down too. I went back to get my gloves that I put down to film, and we came across this shovel. Old shovel. It's mine. Last reported work was 1916, so it's been here a while. We took a look at that across the river, or creek I mean, and think we're actually going to go up and check some stuff there and hit it on the way back down rather than go directly across, because it's a mess getting out from once you get over there if you have to go up there still. So we'll do it in reverse. I don't think you can tell in 2 dimensions, but that big pit for the shaft is there. Come back to get our packs. The frame for the hoist, I believe, is right there. I'm assuming that's what that was. A big spool of cable is there. There's more over here. Miners call that rope, wire rope, if they're being particularly focused on their proper terminology. But for most people, that's cable. And there's a pipe, a big metal pipe, running back that way. So we're gonna get our packs, go to the other side of the creek. All right, hoist house across the way there. And this is that section originally thought might have been the shaft. And looks like they might have just done some surface work here, picking away at this vein, because I mean, from the bottom there to 30 feet up to that tree, it's a solid wall of quartz. Extends down that way where there's that adit or little prospect down there we want to check out, and it appears to continue this way. So it would absolutely make sense for them to cut in here when it's right in their faces. And I don't know, I guess it wasn't good enough to keep running down, but it must have been better over there, or maybe they wanted to run down and intercept it somewhere else. Who knows? But well, look at the size of this boulder right here in front of me. This is huge. It's 8 feet just right there. Solid quartz through here. Pretty impressive. This next scene will make sense if you study this picture for a moment. I have an historical picture of looking down on the hoist house and the mansion and such from the perspective of another adit, and there's a finger of waste rock running out, which is this here. You can see some of the quartz and such behind me. Excuse me, behind me. And coming back this way, I'll show you where the adit was. So this is just more validation that we are correct in thinking it would pin down the shaft and the mansion and such. This is where the adit was. So all of that is lining up perfectly. Very low level of optimism about this being accessible. Looks like there's a big caved section behind there, but he's getting eyes on it just in case. And then there's a road, an old road dropping in from this way. It runs right past this adit here, and then goes and bends down to the other stuff. So you've got roads coming in from both sides. Pretty big operation. Is that a negative? Okay, in case you didn't catch that, he said it looks like they actually carved all that out intentionally. So may have been an adit originally, and it was so rich they decided just to run it all the way to the surface and carve it out. Looking around some more, and they worked the hell out of this whole area. You've got this massive rock wall built up right in the middle of the creek, like they used it to divert the creek or something. That's impressive. That's a good 8 feet high, and it runs all the way down, starting from way back there. All right, so the hoist house and all that is up there. Come down to where this little prospect adity thing is here, and look who's joined us. That's right, Mr. McBride has joined the crew. He came down and told me we were coming out here. He came down and heard our voices, so we met up with him, and that'll help a lot scouting these out. So apparently this is worth going into. So I'm gonna crawl in there and.
You got crystals here to look at before you go in.
Oh, where are the crystals here?
Someone split these
Oh,
rocks.
wow! Look.
You got that one. Got one right there, and then one right in the ceiling as you go inside.
Oh, wow, that's really cool.
Yeah, that one's actually better, I think.
The one inside's the best.
Oh, the one, yeah, up top.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll crawl in there and crystal out. That's the outside world right there. And it is indeed pretty cool back here. This is all solid quartz. And it may have run back farther at one time, but that is not doable. I crawled back there and it's caved. But this is just cool because of all the quartz. And look at all those crystals. I hope this is coming across. This isn't my best light. I didn't think we were going to find all this today. I always make that mistake. But anyway, I just brought more hiking in the woods type gear than my exploring gear. But got some good crystal right there. And then that's all crystal right there. So somebody's picked at that, obviously. But you still see some good stuff there. So that little prospect Adit is back there. We're checking out these other foundations all through here. Maybe this was the original mill, or they moved the mill down the creek. Hard to say, but it's worked all through here. And then the shaft is just directly across the creek by Mr. McBride. There's some kind of landing we're walking on here. There's just so much here. It's amazing. Was this built up?
I think so. There's something square in the creek, and I can't tell if it's a very nicely rectangular rock or something cool.
Oh, I see that. I think that's a rock, but looks like Mr. McBride is going to check it out. So Mr. McBride checked out that square thing down there. It's just a rock, but Jake just spotted a massive, massive spool
Directly above you, Chuck.
of cable right there. That is huge.
I've never seen one that big in the Sierra Nevadas.
No, that is massive. So he's going to go... See, look at the size of McBride compared to that cable. It's huge. Now, that's not all. There's a really big rock pile up there. Bunch of pipe down here. Looks like old ventilation pipe. But, yeah, that cable, or wire rope, as miners call it, if you want to be pedantic, that, I've never seen anything bigger than that in the Sierras. That's huge. Bride's up there with the cable. We're still following this landing out. Don't know if it's waste rock or tailings. Looking at all the crushed quartz, or semi broken up crushed quartz, I'm thinking waste rock, because if it was tailings, it'd be a powder. Lots of cans and just metal everywhere. I'm afraid a lot of it's just blending in with the leaves for you guys, but trust me, there's stuff everywhere on the ground. What do you got? Oh, look what he just found. That was the big rock pile behind him I was talking about. Pipe there, and
Really heavy.
look at this. Well, that confirms the mill was here. That's a stamp shoe from a stamp mill, in case you guys didn't recognize that. So yeah, guess the original mill was up here. What's that?
The whole creek is cut and stashed.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We got a stamp shoe over here.
Farther down, looks like we found the mill. See a huge foundation here. And I'm on a large quartz, looks like quartz outcropping, kind of hard to tell. It's been worked over. Maybe this was stockpiled ore for the mill. I don't know. I don't want to speculate and sound stupid, but this runs for a way, so I'm gonna see where this goes, and then I will drop down, connect up down there. There's tons of stuff down there. I followed that cut down, and it looks a lot more like waste rock here at this end, and so I think that they were just tossing junk quartz up there, barren quartz. So I don't think this is stockpiled ore. I think this is waste rock. I think they just ran rails down, and because it has that classic pattern for the dumping of the waste rock. So sometimes it's hard to tell what you're seeing when you look at it from different perspectives, given how long this has been abandoned. But Looking at it from that angle, I think that's waste rock. I'm just gonna go look over the edge. I don't see anything from here. I'm gonna go look over the edge there. And then there's a road that switch hacks down to the mill there. Here's the other side of that. You can see why I thought that might have been stockpiled ore. Could still have been, but I'm leaning more towards waste rock. The mill is there. Foundation runs all the way along here. There's a lot more stuff there. So much more still here. This is cool. They converted this old barrel here into sort of like a tram bucket. See the cable loop through it and under to hold it in place. That's pretty innovative. There's more piece of a barrel there, and then a ton of mill stuff over there. More barrels and equipment. Bunch of stuff up there. I'll hit that when we come down. I see a wheel right there. Black dog right there. There's pipes sticking up in the creek. Actually, the creek's just full of pipes all the way up. Big foundation is right there. I'm gonna go up here and run into the mill through there. Actually, a couple wheels right there. Mill runs out in front of me. See the piping everywhere. I don't know what that big box is right there, but I'll check it out on the way down. I'm gonna catch up with my buddies and see all this stuff up here. Pretty serious operation they had here. I'm walking through the foundations. See how big this is, how far this extends. That's more modern junk up there. What's the vintage on those?
Around the 30s and 40s.
Okay, thank you.
Some of the refrigerators are 50s.
Okay, so a bunch of refrigerators and washing machines, things like that dumped up there. If you didn't hear Mr. McBride, like 30s, 40s, some of the refrigerators are from the 50s. Man, that's a solid foundation. They did a good job of that. Wow. You see they carved out the spot for the mill out of the solid rock there. Along the edge of this rock wall here, look at the size of those bolts. There's a big roller right there. See some more piping. We're gonna go check out that stuff I saw downstream. So we were just up there. We've come down to check out this metal box I was curious about. It's like a concentrator. All riveted. It's an old one. And you can see where material would have drained out there. Probably right into the creek. Nice, huh? It's impressive that's still here. But then looking ahead, looks like they might have just been running stuff down along the creek the whole way. Oh, there's more. I didn't see this last time. See that pipe right there with the outlet on it? Oh, there's another foundation there. And a ton of rollers. And I see some upright wooden posts, like there was a trestle or something right there. More metal in the creek. Wow, there's a lot going on at this site. Wow. Wonder if there's a footbridge there or something. Wonder what that was all about. Man, so much stuff. Big rock pile there. And then, oh, there's another rock wall there. And then the road keeps running that way, or a trail or something comes that way.
Justin, the bridge is still here.
Yeah, I was noticing. Isn't that crazy?
That is awesome.
Were they hauling ore across that, or were they?
See, I saw that stuff up there, and I think that's waste rock, but it could have been stockpiled ore.
There's more.
Yeah.
Okay, blocked out.
Did you get to that wall up there?
Yeah, I cut down sort of through there, and it looked like waste rock, but could easily have been stockpiled ore. So McBride found something miney.
Miney. Big and heavy metal.
I don't know what it is, but
It's a rocker arm
is it?
for a gigantic V8. I'm kidding.
Get me going there for a second. Farther down now, last place I was filming was back there. I'm on that upper trail, and there's 8 terraces of stacked rock working their way up the hill, which is curious. Down here, big rock wall down where Jake is, and there's a big pipe coming out of what looks like a pit there, and it looks like some corrugated metal behind where he's standing. There, let's see, this trail I'm on keeps going. Those are my gloves. And I can see another road or trail leading up over there. So we'll see if there's anything good down there where they are.
A lot of roofing material here.
Okay, obviously must have been a building there. So yeah, corrugated metal roof material. Then I'm curious about what that pipe is down there.
It's like another large building.
Okay.
Foundation and a huge pipe.
Is the pipe connected to anything?
It goes underground with the base of the foundation here.
Okay. So if you didn't hear that, the pipe runs underground through the foundation where you're standing. Must have been a pretty large building there. I've come farther down. There are more roads and landings and rock walls all along there, and a big concrete pillar. Not coming across the camera too well. A giant concrete pillar in front of me there. You see that? Right there. So I'm gonna switch back down and see if I can figure out what the deal is here. Following this trail down, I started noticing a bunch of bricks all over the place, and that got me thinking about a boiler. And guess what? It was right there. It's a big boiler. Before I drop down to that, I just want to point out these bolts driven into the ground. More trails and terraces up there. This keeps running straight as well. I don't know where that's going to run into, but let's go take a look at this boiler first. There's a better look at that boiler, which is pretty cool. And then looks like a big barrel. Is that a big barrel across from you?
Where?
Right, like directly across the creek?
Yeah, right there.
Okay. Big barrel.
It's odd-shaped metal things now.
Bunch of weird bits of metal down there. So the boiler's there, and you've got all these bricks around the boiler, and then I just noticed that concrete pad right there. So I would imagine the boiler is pretty close to where it sat when the mine was operating. The boiler is right there. Where we are now is where all the chemical tanks were. They said there were just tons of bands down there for the wooden tanks. They were not steel tanks, they're wooden tanks, and all the bands are still down there. Bits of metal all over the place. We stopped here to take a break, and right next to his feet, where'd that horseshoe go? Right next to his feet, we found a horseshoe, or possibly mule shoe, with the nails still in it. How cool is that? Talk about a good luck find.
I also found a track switch down there.
Oh, a track switch, right on.
Same length as the one in our mine, you know. But it was a nicely made one with a proper fitted hole at the back for the post.
Oh, okay.
It was very nicely made.
Cool.
Boiler door down there. There's just, the whole hill's covered in bricks too. The bricks must be from the whatever building the boilers were housed in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess.
We're back at those lower workings where that portal is, which is over in that direction. The fog's come in, but doesn't know anything about all the thick brush. So I didn't come down here last time, and I'm gonna make up for that this time. So I'm gonna start running this stuff out and see some of the infrastructure down here. What we're walking on now looks like waste rock, so it could have come out of that lower adit. Could maybe come across tree kind of trestle or something, who knows. And there's another layer down there. Drop down to the next level, and a lot of stuff down here. Again, to orient you, portal is there. And that's where we walked around last time. I didn't realize quite how much waste rock was over there. But that's all waste rock, and that is an extraordinary amount of rock. However, oh yeah, still the cable here. There's some good stuff over here. Look at all of this metally nirvana over here. I don't really know what I'm seeing here. I see the cables running up the hill. That almost looks like some kind of hopper. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate because I always look dumb.
It's closed back. It
Okay.
looks like a fireplace, but there's no flue or anything, so I have no idea.
All right. Well, I don't want to speculate because people don't know what they're talking about and speculate. It gets annoying. But there's a bunch of metally stuff here. Obviously, there was something significant here. And have we run this out yet? How far did you go down this?
It takes you to the creek where we're going to end up, and you head over to that foundation that you have a hard time seeing now with the fog.
Okay. This switchbacks down or what?
Yeah, see, there's the next level there.
Okay.
So there's nothing at the end, switchbacks, and I went to about right below dog.
Okay. Cool. Well, we'll see what's down there. This is interesting. I mean, for them to blast all this out, this must have been fairly important. Oh, I didn't even notice the huge concrete foundation.
Oh yeah, that was.
What was going on here?
I know we just stated our dislike of speculation, but if the newer mill was down there, this could have been part of a tramway. I don't know. I thought there might have been a hoist here the last time we were here, but now that we found the shaft, it
Doesn't fit, yeah.
doesn't mesh up. You got those. There's two of those contraptions there. There's one. There's another buried one. And then there's a hole. Looks like a little vent hole or something up above these cables.
Weird. Moving down the road, you see the waste rock pile. I don't know, it's a waste rock. Rock pile extends down the hill. And down there in the creek, you can see the edge of that very large foundation. We're following on the road along there, and I happen to glance up and see this cut. And that's Jake in there. As far as it goes. But prospect or powder storage, looks like. Hey, you got some underground time.
Yeah.
Come down a bit farther, taking a closer look at this. I don't think that's a mill at all. I thought it might have been a mill just from the size of the foundation. But
Not concrete, it's stone.
okay, so if you didn't hear that, it's stone, not concrete.
Well, it's
You got the pipe running down the hill there. Don't think it's a bridge because there's nothing that it corresponds to over here. So this is a mystery. But all that waste rock there, which presumably came from the main haulage adit or drain tunnel higher up, but got no idea what this is. I wanted to share with you some of these photographs I found of the long deceased mining crews and miners that worked this amazing mine. I have so much respect for these guys.